Let's hear from the rest of the Warchant.com staff now on how they think this will size up between Florida State and Miami. It's prediction time.
Florida State Seminoles are facing one of their biggest rivals this Saturday in the Miami Hurricanes, and they're going to look to go 10-0 and then 3 in a row against their much disliked rivals to the south. And I think that's going to happen. And I think Vegas absolutely nailed this thing. Last I saw, the line is 14.5 points favoring FSU. I like that a lot. I think that's about right. Now, I don't know whether Tyler Van Dyke is going to play. I don't think it really matters. He's played so poorly lately, or they're going to put in a freshman. Either way, I think they're going to struggle a little bit offensively because of that and because of what's happened lately to them. And I do think everything's trending for Florida State to have its two big weapons, Keon Coleman and Johnny Wilson, in this game. With all that being played in, I like the Noles 32-17.
All right, guys, this should be a really fun Florida State-Miami game. Even though the point spread says it's not going to be a real competitive game, Florida State's favored by 15 points. I do think it's going to be a very competitive football game. I think Miami's defense is pretty solid. They're capable of making plays, creating turnovers. Their offensive line's not bad, especially when it comes to running the football. I think it's going to be a decent football game, but I do think Florida State's going to win and cover because I think you're going to see some of the familiar faces that we didn't see last week against Pitt back in the lineup against Miami. So I think Florida State's going to win. I'm going to say 31-14 to improve to 10-0 in the season. And the Hurricanes are going to go back to Coral Gables with 4 losses, which might hurt Mario's feelings a little bit, but I think we're all okay with that.
What's up, Nole fans? You're seeing me in a cinematic view on my new iPhone. I hope it looks as good as I could have ever imagined. Anyway, go into the game, what you probably really care about, not just my iPhone purchase. Look, I think Miami is good on both lines of scrimmage. Rivalry games can be goofy. They're tricky. Florida State has a lot of pressure on it. I don't foresee how Miami can score enough points to win this game. So I'm predicting Florida State 30 because I think Miami's probably the second, maybe third best defense Florida State's played, maybe second. So 30-13, Florida State moves to 10-0 and 3 straight against the Canes.
I think this game is going to be a lot closer than people think it is. 14.5 point spread seems way too high for a rivalry game, especially when it always seems like Miami can play this team close at Doak. Miami's a really good defensive line and a really good rushing attack as well. Because of that, I think this game, it'll still be kind of high scoring. I think it'll be 30-20 FSU.
Thanks, everybody out there, for making their picks and their predictions. The Warchant.com staff. Go ahead and make yours in the comment section if you would like. Now we turn to this panel. They called it. They were bullish. They were confident. Some said overconfident. Some said arrogant. But they were just simply accurate. Florida State took down Miami. These guys said it. Let's see what they think this time around. Tom Lang, we will start with you. 3:30, Florida State taking on Miami. It's a rivalry game. We know all the cliches. How do you see it shaking out on Saturday in Doak Campbell Stadium?
I want that 40 burger. I need that 40 burger, but I don't know that they're going to get that 40 burger. So I'm not going to call for it. It's going to be close, though. I think this is all it's a broken record this side of the bye week where it's the opposing offense is lackluster, and that paves the way for Florida State to pull away late. So I think FSU will be in control of this game for the vast majority of it. Miami might shorten it a bit. In the end, Florida State comes up just shy of the 40 burger. Final score, Florida State 38, Miami 10.
Ooh, I think we'll be. Oh, you're shaking your head. What's going on over there? What's going on over there, Jeff Cameron?
I knew he was going to take my score.
Oh.
I knew he was going to do it. This damn thief friend of mine was going to take my score. He didn't quite take it, so I've got wiggle room, and I'll say Florida State 38, which was my score all along. By the way, I think I've either picked 38 or 37 every week for Florida State for a number of weeks. I'm not going to shake it up now. I'll go 38-14. 38-14, which has been a pretty consistent prediction. Florida State's totals, when you look at plays, Aslan in the 60s pretty much every week, their opponent in the 60s every week. Florida State typically gets into the 30s if they're healthy. The opponent, here and there, somewhere between 10 and 17. So I just keep saying 38-14.
I know the spread is making me make the calculations, and I'm starting to do like a low 40s, high 30s versus a 20s, and it's like, what? How do you score? And I'm not trying to make it sound like the steel curtain, but that offense, how are they going to score 23 points or whatever against Florida State? I think it's so I'll go Florida State 34, Miami 17.
It's
Okay.
not bad. I like that prediction. I like
think
that prediction. I wrestled with that one, Aslan. That's close. I mean, once you guys see the total come out to at 50, 51, wherever it's at right now, yeah, you start doing the math. You're like, well, how do we get there? And you do. At first, you're like, well, if I have Florida State scoring 30, Miami must score 20. And then you go, Miami scoring 20. And that's kind of the game you have.